All right, well, went out, followed the guys around today, and now they're all coming back in. So I have to go have a meeting with them, and we're going to get situated here shortly. I don't know that I'm going to be showing a lot of that because there's going to be a lot of ass chewing going on. So go through it all together. I know that everybody here understands it, knows what's expected of them, knows how to fix things. And if they don't, then it's a problem. Then I failed, I haven't done my job. Okay? This is going to make it easier. This is what I wanted to show you guys. This is beautiful right here. How did I know that? Well, it doesn't matter. This clicks onto that, but look how this is being taken care of. Take a look at this, okay? What do you guys suppose happened right there?
He was laying next to the mower.
Laying next to a mower and got burnt, right? Mm-hmm. Burnt plastic. What do you think happened right here? What does that look like?
Same thing.
Same thing. Now, does that make any sense?
No.
To take a piece of equipment and throw it up next to a hot muffler? Equipment in the racks. This comes right back to that burnt blower back there and the broken backpacks and everything else. We've got holders on there for equipment, okay? I don't want to see like those hedgers. I come up here and there's a hedger, brand new hedger thrown in the bottom, backpack blowers piled on top of it. You guys get the skins all beat to shit on that stuff. When you do try to take it in for warranty work, they look at it like it's 100 fucking years old and we just bought it 3 weeks ago. You know? I mean, there are racks here, you guys. And if the racks don't work for whatever reason, you need to get a hold of your manager and get them fixed. Okay? Racks hold that equipment. That's why they're there, so they don't get beat all the shit. Okay? I literally, since I got here this last time, we've been in the shop every day fixing shit. Every day. Instead of me doing my job, going out and trying to see to it that everybody's doing their job out here, I'm here fixing shit because every time I turn around and think I can get away, here comes more equipment. Well, in the shed it goes and we don't have the parts, so run to this end of town. I've never seen anything like it. I'll tell you a story that I know for a fact happened here. All right, I came here, not this last time I came to Florida, but the time before that. We were here and I went to the gas station with the guys fueling up all the trucks, okay? I get down there, I see these little 2-gallon cans and 1-gallon cans, and they're all lined up here like this, okay? So I'm assuming somebody put the oil in them, has the mixture all right. All we got to do is come along, whoever's fueling the truck and the mowers, and pretty soon he drops down here and he starts filling these tanks. All of a sudden, I'm like, okay, I better grab them and I'll help these guys out, put them on the trucks, whatever. And I looked at the one, and it didn't look like it had blue oil in it. It was straight gas. Yeah. So I said to the guy, why is there straight gas in this little bitty can? Well, I keep extra gas on my truck. Okay? You might keep extra gas on your truck. You're the only guy that knows that's extra. This guy is going to come work with you today. He doesn't know what's in that. He's got to fill his weed whip and he's got to get going. He grabs a can and he fills that weed whip up, starts going with it, all of a sudden, blah, 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 blah. Done. Why? Because it locked right up, because it didn't have any lubrication, because we didn't put the oil in that can. All right, I'm going to tell you a story real quick. How we lost a huge account for us, and it was a big condominiums. They had like, I don't know, how many buildings did we have in there, Chris?
12.
12 buildings. And it was a big place, wasn't it? There was a lot of work in there. So we go over to this place, did a good job when we mowed it the first time, did a good job when we mowed it the second time. Third time, Chris, what did we do to that?
Chopped it all up.
Chopped it up. How did that happen?
From cutting it on different heights.
Different heights.
Yeah.
No, the right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing.
Because one would cut 36 on 450 and try to do it with the 52, but the heights was different. So they did it to chop the grass up.
Right. So, because whoever was managing this didn't see to it that those mowers were cutting the same height before we started, that ended up in looking like just a disaster. And once you realized it was happening, how much was done already?
Everything.
Everything. Everything was done.
Telling y'all for 5 weeks to mow at what height? 4.5.
So, but back in that day, that wasn't happening. And the other thing was, what about the trimming? What happened with the trimming in there? With the line trimming?
They pushed it up.
They burnt that shit down to the ground.
At those two rows of the grass.
Yep. They just burnt it up. Instead of your whenever you trim something, even if it's up against that fence or what have you, if your grass height is this high and now you got a trimmer and you're trying to trim along this fence, your trimmer needs to be trimming at that height. You don't burn this down to the ground over here. That looks like shit, okay?
I just use my elbow to balance it. Balance the weed eater.
Yeah.
I put it over by where the carburetor is, where it's not hot. And I don't know, I would say my elbow just locks and it just stays at that height, so then I could just run with it.
Okay.
Instead of it just holding it like this where it's bouncing everywhere, it's just locked right in that position.
Anybody else have any other tricks they use?
No, I do the same thing.
Yeah, I do the same thing too. I put my arm out, lock it on it, and that's where I go. Now take a look at this. Now let's say I have Roundup in here. What do I want to hit with Roundup?
Everything you see.
Weeds. I'm going to hit them weeds. Right here, right? That's what I want to hit with Roundup. Now let's say I have pre-emergent in here.
Everything.
Spray the whole bed.
Okay, the whole bed, even that plant right there?
Not the plant.
Absolutely not. So pay attention to this. You're going to blow this out just like this. And you're going to do it and giving a coat.
It's just like painting.
Just like painting. Exactly. Now, when I come back, now granted, this is what the big backpack sprayers are for, not this little thing. Because you want to cover a lot of space in a short amount of time, so we're going to use the big backpacks, which nobody can seem to find me for some reason.
Oh, it's right there.
one right there.
I just grabbed
Yeah,
that.
all right.
Closer.
All right, now did you see how I laid a perfect coat over that?
Yes, sir.
When you come back for the next month, you won't see a weed in that area. And if you have done this around that entire building, all them beds at them Target stores, CVS's, shopping centers, you won't see any weeds in there. Because what this does is it creates a barrier over the top. It's a gas barrier. Nothing can come through that barrier. The only way that gets screwed up is if you're doing this. If you're walking through here and you're just
Disturbing it.
you know, walking around, spraying shit, disturbing it, walking around, moving around, you know, spraying a little over here, walk through it.
Is that
I see you guys do this
Pre-emergent.
day in and day out. That area that I had sprayed so perfect through here, got all, look at the spot where it's all screwed up. Weeds are going to come through there because I screwed it up. Now that gas vapor barrier that's supposed to be on top of that ground is all fucked up. There's nothing protecting that. Now the weeds are going to come through it. So do you understand the importance of this spray?
Yes.
It is a pain for. This is going to save you guys a ton of time. The first time you do it, it's going to take time. It's going to take time because you got to go through that whole property, every ounce of it. You need to assign you or your partner to take the time to do it that first time, because it's going to save you guys, for the next 2 months, it's going to save you guys a ton of spraying. Otherwise, every single time you come there, you've got to spray. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a point to make real quick. When you guys are spraying, don't be walking through the beds to start with, because you're going to leave footprints everywhere when you step out of the bed. You're going to come back to dead spots, brown dead spots everywhere in the yard. You can watch right where you walked.
This is another problem that I'm glad I thought of it now. When I was down here before, I used to spray for weeds and do all this stuff, and I'd come back and all of a sudden it's like, damn, it looks like I didn't do anything here. You know, it looks like I fertilized them. You know, they're growing everywhere. You know what I didn't do? I didn't let the homeowner know that I had sprayed all these beds. So when I left, well, an hour later, the damn irrigation kicked on, washed everything off, and it didn't kill the weeds in the beds. So now, whenever you spray, if you're spraying a customer's bed like this, you let them know they have to shut that irrigation system off.
Yeah.
Okay, otherwise all the work you just did was for nothing. Because you're going to come back next week and it's going to look no different. Now you got to pull weeds again. You know what I'm saying? So, and we lose